Hey, I'm Abby, and welcome back to the Life Work Balance YouTube channel. Today, I would like to talk to you about objectives or summaries on your resume. But before we jump into that, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you're looking forward to seeing what I have to say about objectives or summaries on resumes. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you can receive life work balance advice delivered directly to you every Sunday. And if you didn't tune in last week, I am now on Twitch. So if you're interested in getting free career coaching or career advice or talking through potential interview questions or interview prep, please go ahead and tune in to my Twitch channel. I stream at least once every week and am hopefully able to answer any questions that you might have. I've linked to my Twitch channel in the description box below, and I look forward to seeing you there. All right, so when it comes to writing your resume, the one thing that you have to keep in mind, no matter what, is that every inch on your resume is valuable real estate. Every inch matters. So, keeping this in mind, my opinion on objectives, summaries, or statements at the top of your resume is this: don't do it. In this video, I will be sharing 4 reasons as to why you should not include an objective or a summary on your resume. Stick around to the end because I will also be sharing 3 tips for things that you can do with your objective or your summary rather than keep it on your resume as is. So first things first, my 4 reasons as to why you should not include an objective or a summary or a statement of any sort on your resume. Number 1, your resume should be written in third person. Objectives and summaries are really hard to write in anything other than first person. So writing that objective, summary, or statement of some sort in anything other than first person makes it more robotic and very boring to read. Reason number 2, you should not include an objective or a summary on your resume is that those types of statements are typically written in paragraph form. If you've watched any of my other videos on resumes, you have learned that any type of big chunks of text is a hard no on a resume. So objective statements, summaries, whatever it might be at the top of your resume typically are in paragraph form. This is a big chunk of text that nobody wants to spend any time reading. So if you're going to include it on your resume, chances are one of 2 things will happen. 1, people will spend the entire time reading that statement or that summary, and they won't get to the most important part of your resume, which is your experience and education. Or number 2, what might happen is that they're not going to read it at all. In my past videos, I've talked about the 6-second rule. There was some research done with hiring managers and recruiters, and the researchers tracked the eye movements of people reviewing resumes. As a result of this study, they found that on average, hiring managers and recruiters spend 6 seconds during the first pass over a resume. So if someone only has 6 seconds to spend looking at your resume, do you want it spent reading your objective, summary, or statement? Or would you rather it be looking at your education and your experience? My preference would be that it's spent looking at the education and experience that I have rather than reading that big chunk of text. The third reason why you should not include an objective, summary, or statement on the top of your resume is that these statements are typically very vague. If you've watched my other videos, you've heard me say over and over again that a resume should be tailored to the specific position that you're applying to. That means if you're going to include an objective, summary, or statement, that it should be also very specific and tailored to the position that you're applying to. Most people, if they have a statement on their resume, don't tailor it to the position or the employer that they're applying to. This vagueness leads to the recruiter or the hiring manager looking at your resume, looking at that very vague and generalized statement, and making a determination in their mind that your resume likely is not tailored specifically to their position. If you're using a generalized resume that is not tailored, people can tell. So if someone's only spending 6 seconds looking at your resume and they spend part of those 6 seconds determining that your objective or summary is vague, they're going to make the assumption that the rest of your resume is vague. Chances are it's not going to impress them, and they're going to put your resume in the reject pile. My fourth and final reason as to why you should not include an objective, summary, or statement on your resume is that it usually falls at the top of your resume. That location distracts from the most important aspects of your document, which is describing your previous work experience or professional experience, your education, training, and whatever skills that you might have that will make you a valuable addition to the hiring manager's or interviewer's team. Your experience and education that you bring with you is vastly more important than any content that you could put in your objective, your summary, or that statement at the top of your document. So just don't do it. Save yourself the time and effort and just remove it completely from your resume. However, I know that some people feel strongly attached to their objective, their statement, or whatever summary they might have at the top of their resume. So if you are someone who feels connected to that statement, here are 3 tips for you on things that you could do with that statement instead. First, convert that big chunk of text to easy to read bullet points. You've got to make sure that it's still in third person, it's not in first person, and pull out the most important aspects of that summary and have them at the top of your resume, kind of like key accomplishments or goals that you'd like to achieve with this position. Tip number 2, tailor it specifically to the position and the organization. You want to make sure that whatever you're including on your resume is tailored to the position that you're applying to. So if it's vague, scratch it and get it out of there. However, if you can tailor it to the position or the organization, and you can justify why it's important to include this information on your resume, then by all means, continue to include it. And finally, my personal favorite tip when it comes to the objectives, summaries, or statements at the top of your resume, don't delete it forever, but instead remove it from your resume and move it to your cover letter. Your cover letter is going to be a document that's written more in first person. It should sound more conversational, and it's you telling the reader a story about who you are and what type of education and experience you bring with you. Your objective, summary, or statement is a perfect place for your cover letter. So instead, open up that valuable real estate on your resume to allow for some greater information about your education and or experience, and move that objective, statement, or summary to your cover letter instead. So, long story short, unless you convert your objective, summary, or statement to bullet points, or you tailor it to the specific position or organization, or you move it to your cover letter, do not include one. One small disclaimer. The only type of resume where an objective statement may be expected is on a federal resume. So if you are applying to a federal job, disregard this advice completely. If you're applying to a federal job, the type of objective that you may need to include is slightly different than your traditional objective, summary, or statement that is included on a traditional resume. Federal resumes are completely different beasts than traditional resumes. So if you are applying to a federal job, disregard. But if you're not applying to a federal job, if you're applying to any other type of job, do not include an objective, statement, or summary on your resume. So hopefully this video provided you some clarity and provided you with some options of what to do with that objective, statement, or summary, whatever it might be that you have on your resume, so that you don't feel crushed by having to delete it completely, but you can instead repurpose it and use it elsewhere, like on your cover letter. So if you found this video helpful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, comments, or thoughts about the use of an objective, like the use of a statement or summary, please go ahead and put them in the comments box below. And if you have any other questions when it comes to resumes, job search process, or careers in general, please go ahead and leave me a comment. I read through every comment that comes through, and I try to respond to them as quickly as I can. So if you got those questions, comments, or ideas, drop them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. If you have the ability to tune in on Mondays, I'm streaming live from my Twitch stream, and I am giving free career advice, career coaching, job search technique coaching, interview prep, whatever it might be that you're looking for when it comes to the interview process and job search process overall, or even your career path overall. I'm providing free office hours for you to ask your questions directly. So please, if you're interested, tune into that. I've linked to my Twitch channel in the description box below. And as always, please, if you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you can receive life-work balance advice delivered directly to you every Sunday. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.